race of the year for Horse of the Year. It's Curlin in an absolutely stylish performance.
Sunday Silence surges to the front, and Sunday Silence holds on.
Islington under a rousing ride here by Kieran Fallon. Islington wins. No trouble at all.
Goldacova is just scintillating. Goldacova is something special.
Azeri's still there, and she's pulling away for the discount champion, Azeri.
Into the breach goes a shadow, and the shadow comes away with the lead. And at the wire, it is a shadow.
The American Horse of the Year, and the Arc winner are heads apart.
This is unbelievable. What a performance, one we'll never forget.
Horses representing many countries have transcended the realm of mere mortality at the Breeders' Cup, becoming hallmarks of the turf while enhancing their value immeasurably.
The Breeders' Cup has provided an opportunity for better purses. They provided a goal, and a goal that's recognized by everybody in the country because everybody knows the Breeders' Cup now. It's a brand out there. So it's given us a place to perform at our highest level.
I think winning a Breeders' Cup race is a significant breakthrough from anyone's standpoint, whether you're an owner, a trainer, a jockey. You know, it symbolizes that win at the very highest level.
If you're there at the track the week before, all the excitement and buzz. Well, I think it's a crowning achievement for any horse's career to finish off with a Breeders' Cup win.
Now more than ever before, with 15 races worth $26 million, the Breeders' Cup is the place to be.
Full marks to Breeders' Cup for taking the lead on promoting it, on not sitting back and thinking people just come to us because it is the Breeders' Cup, but actually to have gone out there, promoted, expanded the program. You can run 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, turf, main track, whatever you want. You can run older horses, sprints up to 1.5 miles. So it is a fantastic program now, both sets of races, and I think that has to be lauded.
It's a recognised brand name. It gets people's interest and passions going for the racehorse and for racing, and it's a great example of what is great about racing.
I would compare the Breeders' Cup with the Olympics. To me, it brings out the best horses, the best trainers, the best jockeys from everywhere in the world.
All the best are here on the 2 days, and champions usually are crowned after the running of both races. But the Breeders' Cup, people do a great job in supplying us with everything we need as horsemen, owners, grooms, hot walkers. They're very helpful in every aspect of the game.
If someone comes to the Breeders' Cup and sees the magic of it, and all the breeders there, all of the owners there trying to beat the other owner, if you come to one, you get why it's so special.
As most of our nominators, our breeders, consider themselves shareholders in the Breeders' Cup. A lot of people understand that a Breeders' Cup nomination means more at the sales. It's now, after 27 years, sort of an established business practice. So what we focus on is trying to remind the breeders of not only is it an important investment in your foal, and it's a definite stamp of quality on their foal, but that there's a world of opportunity available to the person that buys that foal.
We're trying to make sure people understand that the mission of the Breeders' Cup is for the betterment of the breeding industry and the game. Breeders' Cup nominated foals, it's been proven in the sales market, bring a better return because the opportunity that they're eligible for a nominal fee, it's $500 if you nominate as a foal, versus a non-nominated racehorse, it then becomes a significant entry fee. So it's important from that aspect. I think it's also important for the industry to support the well-funded parts of our game, and the Breeders' Cup is our Super Bowl, let's face it.
We buy all over the country, and I want a discount on a horse if I see that they're not Breeders' Cup nominated because we're looking to run in the Breeders' Cup. It works into the buying algorithm without a doubt.
If I see a catalog page and it doesn't, if that horse hasn't been nominated to the Breeders' Cup, then I've got to believe that breeder didn't think that he bred a good enough horse to run at that level. And so I very well may turn the page.
In the horse business, if I've got Breeders' Cup first, second, or third in one of my pedigrees, You know, when I'm going out there and trying to get somebody to buy it, that's going to be rolling off the tip of my tongue when I'm telling them about the horse. I mean, it puts a grade 1 stamp on a pedigree that's like, okay, you just got your Nike symbol placed on your product. Okay, we're in now, you know, we've got it.
So there's nothing like going to the breeding shed off of a Breeders' Cup win. I mean, it's a win at the highest level, international attention, everyone's watching. You know, you couldn't think of a better scenario to send a horse off to stud. And the same thing for a mare, especially where it's positioned, where you see some fillies that are going on to November breeding sales. I mean, it can really, really maximize a horse's value.
We adhere to the TOBA super testing standards for graded stakes, and we go a little bit beyond that. We've enacted the prohibited substance rule at Breeders' Cup, which at first banned steroids before every racing jurisdiction was required to.
Well, the Breeders' Cup horses are tested at a much higher level in that the number of substances that they're testing for is much broader than it is in an average race. Horses that run less than their form and horses that win and horses that place highly, they're all tested to be sure that the integrity is maintained, and that's as it should be in a sporting event of that type.
In addition to banning steroids, the Breeders' Cup has been proactive with stringent testing policies and race safety protocol.
I'm a horsewoman. I grew up with horses. I was just so amazed, and I'm still amazed when I go around the track backside, the effort, the human hours that go into keeping a horse safe.
We created the injury management program over a decade ago in response to the fact that, you know, when a Breeders' Cup comes to a host track and there's, you know, 100 to 150 new horses coming in, the racing jurisdiction often doesn't have enough regulatory vets to examine every single one of these competitors the way Breeders' Cup would like them examined.
First of all, a team of veterinarians watches the horse in each individual entry, the horse that's entered during the week, and tries to watch the last work or the last serious gallop. So they have a higher level of maintenance of monitoring in the Breeders' Cup horses than it's done on an average race day. But like every race day, the horses are all inspected the morning of the race for suitability to race.
We feel like taking these steps enhances the Breeders' Cup, certainly here domestically, but for sure internationally.
I think the shipping of horses is a little bit more down to a fine art than it was. I mean, Mike de Kock, who's a top South African trainer, races around the world, he said it's so easy now, it's like posting a letter. But the speed, you know, that they can get there, the way the horses are catered for, if you're on a cargo flight, you're the last on, the first off. And I think the quarantine here in the States is very inviting.
The Breeders' Cup people are absolutely fantastic. I mean, and they just make you feel very welcome and at home. Everything's really very well done and everything's taken care of, and it's great because it enables us as trainers and as assistants to be with the horses, and they make the administrative part of it very easy and then try and help you through and just make it so that it's a pleasurable experience, and that's, as I say, I can't say enough about them. They've been fantastic.
As a bonus, Breeders' Cup also offers a unique chance for horsemen around the world to gather and share experiences.
Don't get bugs to singing Christmas carols. That's us, that's right. Gotta love this American.
Hospitality includes a festive party, a post-position draw lunch, and a spectacular setting. But of course, it's the racing that brings the world to the Breeders' Cup. The challenge is great. To win, a horse must truly be the best in the world. But the rewards are unmatched, and the moment, unforgettable for all who compete.
I would say that if you've got a good horse anywhere, and you're in your best form, you need to be here to be in the Breeders' Cup.
People have to come and see this to believe it. It's unbelievable. The atmosphere is special. The great race. I think it's the best racing in the world.
I would describe it as like an all-star game. It's you know, I mean, you have the who's who of horses. It brings them all together in a championship day, and it's just it's a marquee event.
And just the prestige and honor of winning a race. You know, you're competing against the best in the world, the best trainers, the best horses, best owners, jockeys. You always think your horse is the best horse, but until you actually match him against the best horses from the rest of the world, then you never know.
The Breeders' Cup itself is just such a massive name and massive event in horse racing. We all really would aspire to want to race here.
Any owner want to buy a horse thinking about these races. When you do well in this country, the world know you. You can be the best in Europe or in Argentina or any places, and the people don't know you. But when you be in America, everybody see who you are.
It doesn't matter how many horses you have. It doesn't matter how many millions you may have. It's the fact that you're there, and you made a commitment to come to the Breeders' Cup, and we appreciate you.